Are we back?
Oh, hey, hi. We're so glad to have you back with us. We were just talking about some of Joe's experience in the military, and perhaps some of you can appreciate that. Well, when we talk about experience, we'd like to share an experience that we have pretty much on a daily basis. And Joe, that's when we get calls from parents. Mm-hmm. And they're really frustrated, Joe. Perhaps you have been one of those parents who have gotten school readiness funding. They think all is well. They can go to work. They can pay their parent copay because we told them their parent copay was whatever, Joe, $5, $10, whatever it is. And then they get to the child care provider that they have chosen. And before they know it, Joe, their fee now, their parent copay, has gone from what we said to $50 or higher, whatever the amount is. Now, Joe, how can that happen?
Well, most of the time, Lynn, it's usually a process of miscommunication between the parent and the provider. When the parent,
so it's not about us and the parent.
No. When a parent leaves our office, the parent has two forms. On the bottom of one of those forms, it will have what is the parent's copay, and that copay may be $2 a day.
Well, Joe, what's the name of that form?
It is the eligibility and enrollment form. It's the form
so
that...
the parent wanted to be able to say to a provider, no, here's what they told me I owed. They could look at that form.
Right. They get duplicates. Two goes to the provider. The parents keeps the other two. So everybody has the same paperwork.
Know.
Right.
Okay.
Say the parent's copay is $2 a day. Now what happens is when the parent goes to the provider to enroll the child in care, the provider at that point in time will have what we may call additional fees.
Ah, it's not from us.
It's not from us.
Okay.
It's not from us. The provider can charge up to what they would normally charge a private pay. So for example, say the coalition says that we will pay $125 for a toddler.
For a week of
for a week of services.
Okay.
A provider's private rate may be $150.
Well, so if somebody came in off the street and said, I'd like to come to your program, and they did not come through the Early Learning Coalition to get assistance with their payment, then the school readiness provider would say, well, that's $150.
Right.
Ah, okay.
So now our parent goes, and you know the combined portion that the coalition pays and the parent copay would equate to our max rate, which would be $125.
We can only pay that. We can't pay any more. Gotcha.
So that $25,
they're just out if somebody doesn't pick it up.
In addition, the provider may charge registration fees, activity fees. However, all of this should be discussed when the parent goes to enroll their child into that program. They should get a parent handbook that clearly explains any additional costs, anything that they may owe.
They need to ask.
Absolutely.
Okay, I hope you're hearing this, because this could happen to you, and before you know it, you may have a bill that's $200 and $300, and you're going, but my copay, my part was only $10. What happened? And you may have gotten those additional charges tacked on without you fully understanding. Remember, it is your responsibility to sit with the provider you choose and make sure you understand what they charge, if they charge anything extra. Now, Joe, what if I don't want to pay those, or I can't pay those additional costs? Can I come back to the coalition, or what do we do?
The coalition will hold a parent responsible strictly for the copay. 30 days of copay. That is one of the reasons why a coalition will notify a parent if the provider informs the coalition that that parent is more than 30 days in arrears for the copay. However, we must let parents know that they're still liable throughout the civilian courts for that additional funding.
Right.
The best rule of thumb is that when they pay the provider anything, get an itemized receipt that says what this is going, what is this applying to, so you would have it to show. We do not transfer parents that owe co-payments to providers.
So I think it's real important for you to understand that if you let your bill get high and then you just say, well, I'll just go down the road to Lynn's Child Development Center and I won't have to pay that. Well, that is not accurate. If you are getting funding through us, you will be responsible for what you owe that provider before you are allowed to transfer. Now, if it's just about funding, Joe, that's really going to be the case.
Remember, the itemized receipt is what you need to get, because when you come in for a transfer, we will contact the provider to fill out a form to see whether or not your copay is current.
Good.
Okay?
But Joe, I think you said the key, and we please I just hope this helps you. If you will sit with your provider instead of rushing in and rushing out, and I know we're all so busy, but Joe, it pays them to sit down and ask that provider, what charges will I have to pay? Just ask it up front. And then if they're not able to pay, Joe, they should come back to us.
Come back and say, I cannot enroll into this particular program. We will then do another child care resource and referral for them that will clearly list what the provider's additional fees are. However, remember, when you go into the program, ask for a parent handbook, something that clearly identifies what additional fees there may be. Remember, the coalition is not liable for any additional fees other than what we've placed on that form.
That's right. Okay. Joe, I think if they'll take this information, I think they can get this get this in place early on. This is a situation, Joe, the 20 years we've been working in this, we've seen many parents lose services because they let a copay get out of hand. They just didn't address it. So address it up front. If you have questions, you can always ask us, call us back, or just go on our webpage. We have a warm line for parents that you're able to access, or you're welcome to visit us at our webpage, Early Learning Coalition of Northwest Florida, if you're not comfortable asking right now. We appreciate you taking the time to be a good steward of these dollars so that we have them when we need them. Thanks.